Hello, this is Julia McLeod. I'm here to talk to you about ways to prepare your fabric for my Starting with Silk class. We are going to be learning two techniques. The first one is this crazy piecing, and the second one is the foundation pieced flying geese. I want to show you the back of this and show you that some of these fabrics have benefited from the application of fusible interfacing and some have not. So I'm going to talk about which ones to interface and which ones not to in preparation for your class. The afternoon's technique is a foundation pieced flying geese. We are piecing onto a fabric foundation, and this does not require that we add any fusible interfacing. You can use your fabrics exactly as they are because all the stability and accuracy comes from this foundation that we draft. You will find some more edges here, but we have plenty of seam allowance, and so fraying is not such a concern with this technique. But for this one, as I say, I am going to fuse some of my fabrics. Let's look at a few of the kinds of fabrics that you may have to work with. Here are two neckties. This one is a printed silk, and it's extremely lightweight. It's cut on the bias, and so it's really ready to stretch. Not fray so much, but it's still a pretty lightweight fabric. This one I am going to add fusible to. This one is a kind of jacquard or brocade weave, and it's more robust. It does have a bit of stretch in it, but for the purposes of the techniques that we're doing, I am not going to add any fusible to that. Let's take a look at Dupioni Silk. This is very ready to fray. Some silks, Dupioni is not really created equal. You'll find some are more ready to fray than others, but this does really benefit from having a fusible interfacing. It minimizes the fraying. It slows it down for sure. So let's add some fusible interfacing to this necktie. If you've done any dressmaking, you'll be familiar with this, but it also could be new to you if you're a quilter who doesn't have any experience with fusible interfacing. This is Pellon's P44F. It's a very lightweight fusible interfacing. I like it. It behaves really well and it's inexpensive. It's about 99 cents a yard at Joann Fabrics. Find the scratchy side. One side has got little dots of glue on it and one side is smoother. Lay it smooth side down with the glue side up. I can feel those scratchy glue dots. Now, for our class, we're going to need some of this fabric not to be fused and some of it to be fused. So the one that I want to have some for my morning technique, this technique, I do want to have some fusing on this. And then I'm going to leave the other, skinny end of the tie, perhaps without fusible interfacing. It's not the end of the world if you fuse this entire thing. You can use fused fabric in the afternoon, but you don't need to. I'm going to lay my fabric wrong side down onto the scratchy side of the fusible interfacing. And I'm going to flatten it out so that I haven't made the mistake of kind of stretching it. So just lay it super, super flat. I'm going to come up to the edge over here. And then if you have one of these silicone pressing sheets, that is going to stop anything sticky from getting on your iron. You can instead use a plain, kitchen towel or just a white flour sack towel works fine, and that also will keep any gunk off your iron. So without steam, I'm going to carefully press this onto the fusible interfacing. Make more kind of stomping motions than dragging. Since I've got this sheet on, it's protecting my necktie from moving around. But if I was doing it directly on the tie, this kind of movement is preferable. My iron is quite hot, probably on cotton heat. Peel back the sheet, and then I can trim away my necktie that's got the fusible on it. In parts it hasn't quite stuck, so I'm going to go over it again. And then you'll see that I've created a much more robust version of that fabric that's going to be easier to piece with. Now I can apply some steam. If you have steam on when you're using a silicone sheet, it'll just spurt right back at you. So take a look, fused on this side and not fused on that side. This side is still stretchy, it may be prone to fraying, it's a whole lot less robust. This is great for the technique that I'm going to be teaching you in the morning, this crazy piecing. And these pieces, unfused, we can use in the afternoon if you want to use them at all. About this much of 8 neckties is enough for our morning technique. Bring 10 or 12 if you would like to. If you're working with just other fabrics, you know, roughly this much, this is about, you know, 12 by 10 or 12 by 12 would be a good size too. And that's how we do it. I look forward to seeing you in class.